There once was a swan, Aquarius, graceful and refined, like a diamond in the sky, gliding high above the clouds, far beyond the pull of land and time. It lived in the skies of forever, where all was understood, where space stretched in every direction, and it knew itself completely. The swan understood itself conceptually as all things. It was the swan, it was the goose, it was the duck. From up there, the swan could see everything. Everything was crystal clear. There was nothing to fear, and yet something was missing. No matter how high it soared, no matter how wide its wingspan reached, it had never truly felt what it meant to be a goose, or a duck, and hence, not even a swan. It had tried to continue its legacy, to pass on the lineage of swans, but swans are impotent. Time and time again, it tried to mate with the geese below, to no avail. Periodically, it descended to land, indulging in sensual pleasures, only to return skyward, alone. "I'm just a swan," it sighed. "I can't mate with the geese." It watched them from above, those earthbound birds, eating and nuzzling, chasing each other across fields. They laughed, they loved, they laid golden eggs. The swan could fly forever, but it couldn't lay a golden egg, until one day, a spark of courage flickered in its chest. A humble idea, a brave admission, a true diamond in the sky. "I am a swan. I am not afraid of anything. Then why am I afraid of doing what I know I need to do? I need to become a goose. I need to become a duck." And the swan knew exactly how. It needed to stop pretending it was already a goose. It needed to be what it truly was, a swan. And swans are fearless. And with that, it tucked its wings in tight, lifted its head high, and dove. A true swan dive. The wind roared in its ears as it passed through Leo's fire, the will to descend, to surrender glory in exchange for experience. Below, the land of Taurus spread out like a picnic. The geese were there, eating apples and seeds, snuggling in tall grass, preening feathers, honking joyfully. The swan had come here before, many times, but always it stayed, lured by soft moss and sweet fruit, distracted by warmth and beauty. Pleasure had always been enough, and that's why it had never reached the adjacent waters. But this time was different. It closed its eyes, held its breath, and flew right past Taurus's temptress pole. A swell of pride rose in its chest. It had resisted, and then it happened. A quack, a little one, awkward, new. It startled the swan. Was that a goose sound? The swan smiled. "I'm becoming a goose already." Buoyed by confidence, it arced downward, headed straight for the surface of the water. Its descent was so fast, its neck shortened in the rush. Then, just before impact, a glimmer, a ripple, a reflection. Libra, it saw itself. It saw its shrunken neck. Could it be? Had the swan already become a goose? But it had too much momentum. There was no turning back. And then, splash. Aries. The neck shrunk. Feathers clumped in. Wings pulled in. The impact compressed its body even further, completing the swan's transformation into a duck. But it didn't know it yet. It still thought it was the goose it just saw in the reflection. Proud, victorious, already changed. The duck, still misperceiving itself, shot down into the water, deeper and deeper, where light could no longer follow. This was Scorpio's domain, the underworld. Quiet, cold, dark. The duck flapped harder, but the momentum was fading. Its breath thinned, its thoughts heavier. Then, in the darkness, panic. It squawked, it gasped, it cried out, and a quack emerged. Though underwater, this one was somehow clearer, unmistakable. Not a swan, not a goose, just a duck. It sank to the ocean floor, clutching to a rock, ready to accept its gloomy fate. The pressure and severity of Capricorn overwhelmed it to the core. I'm just a sitting duck, it thought. The swan had known it would become a duck, but not like this. It hadn't known it would have to die. Death wasn't even real to the swan. The duck began to weep. As it clutched rock bottom, its tears began to shimmer in the darkness, like tiny, radiant diamonds. And in the stillness, as the duck watched those diamonds flicker, an intuitive ping struck through the grief. A knowing surfaced. Simple, stunning, a true diamond in the rough. Cancer. Wait a minute. I'm a sitting duck. Sitting ducks float. Buoyancy is my birthright. Pressure isn't a curse, it's a gift. And with that, the duck let go of the rock. The pressure of Capricorn launched it upward, past Scorpio's depth, rising like a bubble at light speed. Joy returned. I am who I am, and that is enough. I am a duck. But it wasn't a duck anymore. It rose so quickly, its neck began to stretch. It was becoming a goose. As it bursts from the surface, the duck fully transforms into a goose. Fertile, free, unknowingly found. It flaps its wings as it lands softly on the warm, solid ground. Taurus, fields, fruit, other geese, but it still thought it was a duck. The journey had been long. It was time to rest, to eat, to laugh, to mate. And in the height of orgasmic pleasure, a quack burst forth. But this quack, this one was different. Full, final, more hunky. And in that moment, the goose realized, I'm not a duck. I'm a goose. But it wasn't a goose anymore. Not really. It had just conceived the golden egg. And inside the egg, a swan. The next swan. Greater heights, clearer sights, deeper knowing. Ready to dive into the unknown. Ready to face its fears all over again. But even more so this time.